2 seasons ago, the unthinkable happened. The 6-0 Buckeyes were rolling and they were primed for a matchup against the 4-2 Penn State Nittany Lions, who were still kind of ailing from a 49-10 shellacking at the hands of my Michigan Wolverines. Don't worry, I will mention the fact that you pretty much returned the favor the very next season, and who inexplicably lost to the in-state rival Pittsburgh Panthers that same season. Fun fact here, that very same year, Pittsburgh also beat eventual national champion Clemson. If only the Panthers could figure out what they did right in those 2 games. Also, that goes to show you that the whole they beat them and then they beat them so they could probably beat them theory really doesn't work here. Anywho, we know how this went down. Beaver Stadium, going wild, the crowd crazy, a whiteout. And Trace McSorley and Penn State win the 4th quarter 17-0. Grant Haley with a 60-yard return after a blocked kick, and they never lost the lead from there. But what will happen this year? Let's point out the obvious for the Ohio State Buckeyes first. Their offense is substantially better than it was in 2016. Their defense, substantially worse. They gave up 31 points to possibly the worst team in the Pac-12 in Oregon State and 196 rushing yards. 2 weeks later against TCU, they gave up 203 yards on the ground and 308 by air. Better patch that stuff up against Penn State, I'll tell you that. My buddy Paul Jamison, a Buckeye fan, explained to me that it was the linebackers that were really causing the problems for Ohio State. He informed they're not filling their gaps and they're the weak spot of the defense. Also, if you are an Ohio State fan, check him out below, his channel is linked. In fact, while I'm at it, college football fans in general, there's a channel called Volunteer Roadshow. A great guy named Bobby C/Catfish runs it. He's a truck driver and he drives around the nation, and when he stops, he likes to record his show and talk Tennessee volunteer football, SEC football, and college football in general. He actually got in a huge accident a few days ago, and he's doing fine, but his truck not so much. His channel and a GoFundMe link are linked below. If you could do 2 things. 1, subscribe. 2, give whatever you can, even if it's only $1, $2, $3 to that GoFundMe link. It goes a long way, and it shows the support of the college football community. My prayers are out to you, Bobby C. With that said, back to the action. After that upset victory, Penn State looked like an entirely different team. They actually didn't lose for the rest of the calendar year and barely lost to USC in the Rose Bowl. They looked nothing like they did when they were defeated by Michigan, but they still shouldn't have jumped Michigan in the final playoff ranking. Just an opinion. Then in 2017, the Nittany Lions lost 2 games on the road by a total of 4 points. That was at Ohio State and at Michigan State. They had all the intangibles to get it done in 2017, and those were 2 heartbreaking losses that they won't forget. They were even up 28-10 on Ohio State before folding over time. This matchup between Ohio State and Penn State has been absolutely outstanding as of late. But this year has a little bit different of a smell to it. Of course, Saquon Barkley is gone, and that's huge. Also, offensive coordinator Joe Moorehead is now coaching at Mississippi State. MISSISS. If you've been watching Penn State, though, they haven't really suffered from these losses. However, they also haven't played much of any kind of competition. And on the other side of the ball, there were some issues against App State. They gave up 38 points to the Mountaineers. That's more than Michigan gave up the year we lost. That undoubtedly has to make the majority of state college nervous, especially with Dwayne Haskins and Ohio State coming into town. I think it's safe to say they're not exactly licking their chops the way they used to do when JT Barrett IV would come into town. I'm filming this prior to the Tulane game, so I don't really know what's going to go on there, but I can't see it being any different than what I've already seen. So far, Haskins has racked up 890 passing yards, 11 touchdowns to just 1 interception. I don't care if you're up against Air or Rutgers defense, which is, I guess, comparable, that's pretty dang legit. But so is McSorley, and he too should have an absolute field day in this game. I mean, Ohio State literally made TCU's Sean Robinson look like Peyton Manning. And really, if it weren't for a few huge plays going in Ohio State's favor, they could have been headed back to Columbus with their heads down. But they escaped. And really, that's all you have to do in this sport. Just ask Clemson. With all that said, here's my prediction. The crowd will be obnoxious, the atmosphere electric. I think there will be a good bit of drinking involved in Happy Valley up until the point of the game, and maybe even during. And no doubt Penn State's defense, at least here and here, will be more ready for this game than they were for the Mountaineers. In fact, I honestly believe that there will be moments where Dwayne Haskins shows the rest of America that he does still need time to develop. But Ohio State will be more explosive with the ball, and Penn State's really going to miss Saquon Barkley in this one. It'll be the first real game where they realize he's gone. Penn State will definitely get some big plays, especially against Ohio State's somewhat vulnerable defense so far this year. But Ohio State will make more of them, and they're going to outlast the Lions in the long run in this absolute shootout. I mean, I think there's going to be some points scored this week. And maybe some taking off some Nittany Lions fans' driver's licenses. Ohio State 41, Penn State 36. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Again, Volunteer Roadshow, subscribe to him right now. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to keep this one quick. I'm not below, just Volunteer Roadshow, deserves it on his own. Subscribe to him and support his GoFundMe and show why college football fans are the best fans in the absolute world. Forget the nation, the world. See you guys later, and God bless.